The real estate interview process is really competitive, and anything you can do to give yourself an edge is worth paying attention to if you want to land a job. And while your background obviously matters, how you prepare for each interview itself is really important. And in this video, we'll talk through 6 things you can do leading up to an interview that'll help you stand out from the competition and land more offers. So the first thing I want to mention here is really easy to do, and this is researching the company as deeply as you can. And what I mean by this is taking the time to understand the company's investment strategy, where they invest their capital, or any notable deals they've done recently that could help you guide the conversation. A lot of firms will publish press releases when they acquire a new property, hire a new key team member, or raise a fund, all of which can be helpful things to know about. And if the company is publicly traded, listening to earnings calls or reading through recent quarterly or annual reports can give you a lot of insight into the direction the company's going, the challenges they're facing, and how they see market conditions shifting in real time. Most candidates only focus on themselves during interview prep and will spend the majority of an interview itself talking about their own skills and experiences without ever relating those things back to how the company operates. But hiring managers ultimately want to bring someone on board that's committed to joining the right team and shows a genuine interest in what the company's doing. Now, the second thing I'd recommend when preparing for a commercial real estate interview is taking some time up front to research general market conditions that would impact the company you're interviewing with. And to start, for the vast majority of commercial real estate investment, development, lending, and brokerage firms, interest rates are going to have a huge effect on the activities of a company. So in almost all cases, you'll want to spend some time researching both where major benchmark interest rates are today, but also where these rates are in comparison to where they have been over the last 12 to 24 months and where these rates are projected to go in the future using data from sites like Chatham Financial or Pensford. CBRE's quarterly U.S. capital markets figures reports are also great places to get up-to-date information on investment volume and loan origination activity, and CBRE's semi-annual cap rate surveys can also give you a really good sense of where pricing is headed in most major markets. And beyond just general market information, in most cases, the company that you'll be interviewing with will have a specific product type and or geographic focus. So if the company you're interviewing with invests primarily in multifamily properties in Portland and Seattle, for example, you'll also want to take some time to understand where rent growth is headed in those markets, what vacancy and supply growth looks like in those markets, and any major employment changes that could have a noticeable impact on demand for apartment product. Cushman & Wakefield's quarterly market beat reports are great sources of information for many U.S. cities, but other firms like CBRE, Newmark, Colliers, and Avis & Young all have great research departments that put out regular quarterly reports covering a variety of different major metros. Now, even though this information can be helpful, I wouldn't stress too much about memorizing all of this data, but this type of research can help guide how you answer certain questions and can also help you come up with your own set of questions to ask based on current market conditions. And this leads directly into my next recommendation when preparing for a real estate interview, and this is writing out a list of about 3 to 5 questions that you want to ask to your new potential employer. These could be market-related questions that are directly tied to the research that you've done and how the company plans to adjust to current market conditions, or these could also be questions related to how the company operates internally, covering things that you wouldn't be able to learn just by going to the company's website. Great questions to ask in real estate interviews are things like, what's the typical internal career trajectory of someone who takes on this role? What kind of professional development opportunities does the company offer or sponsor? And what does success look like a year from now for someone who steps into the job that I'm applying for? There are a lot of job applicants out there that submit their resumes to a bunch of different open positions without giving much thought at all to the long-term implications of taking each role. And questions like these show that you're looking for a long-term fit, you're trying to improve as a real estate professional, and you want to make sure that your expectations are aligned with the company's expectations from the start. Now, the next thing worth doing when you're heading into this process is thinking through about 3 to 5 examples of how you've already demonstrated the skills you'd need to succeed in that position. Companies put together a job description based on exactly the type of candidate they're looking for, and the more you can showcase that you have those skills or experiences, the more attractive of a candidate you are going to be. For example, if the job description mentions that the company is looking for someone to create investment memos to present to senior leadership, someone to create financial models in Excel, or someone to communicate with lenders to get deals financed, you ideally want to have a handful of stories you could turn to that demonstrate your own presentation skills, your financial modeling abilities, or your experience working with banks or insurance companies. These stories also don't have to be directly tied to experience in real estate, so there's no need to stress out if you haven't worked in this industry before. But regardless of your academic or professional background, the point here is that you want to come in being prepared to talk through your track record of success, doing as many of the things that you would be asked to do in the position as possible. Now, the next thing you'll want to come prepared with, especially when interviewing for analyst and associate roles, is a general understanding of core commercial real estate finance metrics and how these figures are calculated. Now, in the vast majority of cases, commercial real estate firms won't give candidates complex mental math questions during an in-person interview, but when general technical questions do come up, they're usually related to terms like the cap rate, IRR, equity multiple, debt yield, or debt service coverage ratio. And this means that you should at least go in having a basic understanding of what each of these metrics represents. And even if you aren't asked any questions about these figures before a formal Excel modeling exam, this can also help you more clearly understand the implications of changes to things like cap rates and interest rates on a company's real estate portfolio. Now, the last thing I want to mention here seems really obvious, but can have a huge impact on your performance in an interview, and this is to get to the office earlier than you think you need to. A lot of real estate firms are located in high-rise buildings in densely populated cities, which can make traffic and even parking extremely unpredictable. And this means that even if Google Maps tells you that it's going to take 20 minutes to get to the office, that typically doesn't include the 10 minutes you might have to spend looking for parking or the 5 minutes you might have to spend walking from the parking garage to the office. The last thing you want to do is feel stressed about time heading into one of these conversations. And even if that means that you end up sitting in the parking lot for an extra 20 minutes, having the time to stop, look through your notes, and show up to the office about 10 minutes early can make a major difference in how you perform. So if you're getting ready for the interview process at commercial real estate firms, I hope these things are helpful. And if you want to make sure you have the technical skills you'll need to make it through an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you when interviewing for analyst or associate roles, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking a CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Breaking a CRE Analyst Certification Exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and you want to see more content on the channel on real estate interview best practices, make sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments any other job search or application related topics that you'd like to see covered in more detail. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.